Low Country Shrimp and Knits, and with me today, as always, is my bestie in the knitting world, Judy from Maggie Loves Yarn, and we're still super lucky because we have Liz. And Liz is from Simply Made by Liz, and you can find her not only here at Low Country Shrimp and Knits, but her gorgeous products are also on Etsy. What's your account called?
Simply Made by Liz.
It is that too, Simply Made by Liz. So if you're on Etsy, you want to look for some gorgeous, gorgeous stitch markers, they are there. You have other stuff on your site too. Tell us
Doggy
about
sweaters.
Yeah, what do you
I
have?
have some dog sweaters and cowls and stitch markers. Mostly dog sweaters.
So
That's what I started with.
they are so cute and they are so fluffy, and of course during these cold, chilly winters. Now she is, we were trying to get her to come back here. We're peer pressuring her to move back here because she left us, abandoned us, I think, is really what it was, just terrible. And she left us high and dry to move back to her. My family's in Rhode Island, and I'm like, so is mine, whatever. But she's nicer than I. So she went back to Rhode Island to be with her littles, and so she knows these cold cold winter weather that everyone's got going on up north. So yeah, can you believe this? I mean, my God, my best friend lives up in upstate New York, and it's, I think, negative 45 wind chill today.
Her husband's coming down Sunday, and I said, "You tell Drew to leave today."
It's like -4.
Oh, I mean, it's like, why?
I got
why do we live in this?
married on a day that it was wind chills of -65.
Yeah,
so
because you're
that's
insane. Because you're clearly insane.
I'm in love.
Okay, I guess
Try doing
that's.
that now. It's like
You're like, what? No, it's too cold. It's only 50. God, we should probably get married late. Oh, it's too hot in June. We should, Anyway,
never
so.
too hot.
No, never
Yeah,
too hot.
never
No,
too
I definitely can deal with the heat much more. So, anything exciting in our worlds this week?
Nothing exciting. Judy's been running me around every single day.
Really?
It's great.
Running you around like ragged, like as she does, because
We
she's
have something to do every day.
she's like a hummingbird.
my life.
She's like a hummingbird. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go over here. I gotta go knit over here, and then I gotta go buy something for sewing, and I gotta stitch this, and then I gotta run over here, and I'm gonna eat this, and I'm gonna go here. I'm like, how do you?
And I'm
God.
retired.
And it's always very early in the morning.
I do.
Okay, hold on. Define early in the morning, because I feel like our definitions maybe don't align.
Yeah, there might be a little difference. I don't like to leave the house before 10.
Okay. What time do you get? Like, if you are just waking up and no one's nagging you, what time?
9.
Nice.
My day's half over.
Right. That's what I feel
I
like. I've
know.
lived a whole life by that time. So, Judy, what time when nobody's waking you up? You don't have weather, the dog, nothing's getting you out of what?
Usually like around 6.
Yeah.
If I feel like sleeping in is 7. And I can't stand that.
We normally wake up. If it's a great night and I have actually slept, like 7:30 is usually my husband and I are up for the day. Now,
I
what
get
the hell
nothing
were you
done.
doing dyeing yarn at 5 o'clock in the morning this
Because
week?
I woke up at 4:30. I couldn't go back to sleep. But see, I spent 30 years getting up at 5:30 in the morning and getting ready for school and going in.
Right.
And so it's taken me so I've been retired 15 years. So it's taken me probably about 12 of those to get over that. Still can't get over when it's 11 a.m. It's time to eat. That was my lunch period. It's time to eat.
Yeah, I don't know. You can
my
break that.
stomach just goes. 15 years later, somebody says, "You want to go eat about 1?" I'm like, "Oh no,
1? Oh my God, no! It's
I'll
almost
have to eat a snack first."
it's almost dinner time at that point.
I got up to raise kids, send them off to school, and go to work. And I have no problem sleeping till 9. I gave that up.
Yeah.
As soon as my kids got older, and I wasn't working any longer.
Oh, I just feel like the day's over.
I agree. Well, we have friends that will sleep till 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God, like I've lived a whole life by 11 o'clock.
Norma, that's you.
Norma, I love you.
She's like, I don't get up till noon. Excuse me. But she stays up till 2 or 3 or 4 reading and everything else.
Well, in that case, yes, I think I could definitely. When I was in radio, I did mornings, and so that always screwed me up because I was up at 3 a.m. And then by 9 o'clock in the morning, I was ready for lunch because I had been up for so long. And then some nights we had club nights, so they would be out till 11. So I was just a hot mess. Like,
oh yeah.
I just never felt rested. My brain was so addled from being tired all the time.
I could do it when I was young.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I'd stay up till 3 or 4. But you know what? I got mono when I was in college, and that killed it forever. At 10 o'clock, I'm in bed.
Yeah, well, I was never a late partier. I'm like, okay, well, I'd like to be in bed by like 9:30. So yeah.
I've never ever gotten over that. I mean, you know, I was just dead, and so 10 o'clock, I'm in bed.
So how much time do you guys, on a day where you don't have any responsibilities, let's say, so no appointments, nothing else, how much time do you think you spend knitting? What do you think?
Hours. I get up in the morning and start knitting, and I'll pretty much knit all day, just like maybe take a lunch break but I knit a lot at home.
But does it hurt your hands at all, or any of the joints?
Sometimes I'll get like my shoulder and my elbow will ache, so then I just move to a different chair. And that helps.
I don't stop, but I alter.
No, never stop.
Judy, what about you?
Well, it's fiber related because I sew in the mornings for people.
Yeah.
And then if I get up early, I'll start dyeing.
Right.
And then I may be designing, you know, working on colors or something and working with yarn and playing. And then I usually don't start knitting till about 2 in the afternoon. And then I'll knit till about 8 or 9. And if I'm knitting something with 1s or 2s, it hurts my hands after
Well, because
a
it
while.
does. It's so
Yeah,
tiny.
it's
It's
so
such
tiny.
fine motor skills.
But I don't
using
know
those
that I'm knitting
needles.
all day, but I'm doing something fiber related all day. Whether I'm texting you and going, look at this ugly pattern, or look at this cool pattern.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time looking for patterns on
I
Ravelry.
do, and playing with colors and shopping and
See,
but it's all
pattern to
fiber
me is
related.
before bed. Pattern is like that thing that I'm looking at to get my mind. They always say, get off the phone before bed. I need something to like unwind my brain. So looking in Pinterest or looking on Ravelry at patterns kind of helps my brain get to a good place instead of panicking about something stupid I said in 10th grade. You know, things like that.
That's true.
So-
I read, so that puts me to sleep.
Yeah, well, I can't because then I get too
I
into
need
the
a
book.
good book right now, and it makes me mad because I fell asleep in the middle of the page last night. I was like, I don't want to keep on reading.
Oh yeah, no, I can't do that. I'd be up all night doing that. So now because, you know, so everyone's like, oh, you're in your shop. You're so lucky. You just knit all day. I'm like, oh my God,
chance.
I don't get a chance to knit. I barely get a chance to knit. I'm like, okay, I would like to work on this, but, you know, and then people come in and they're like, hey, can you help? Yes. Hey, can you help me pick out? Yes, absolutely. Can you order? Definitely. By the end of the day, I'm like, and now I'm tired, so I don't want to work on anything that requires brain cells. So that's why I have done absolutely nothing still on my timber because I still haven't even divided it out. And here's the problem with, I don't want to say problem.
Yeah, but you're getting close to that being done.
So here's where I am. I'm supposed to be teaching this class in a few weeks. And so I am at the end, but you can't, it takes, here's like, you know, the finished piece is the last border. So here I am, but each side takes like a half an hour.
Yep.
So I'm
That's
just
what I
like,
said,
one direction,
long enough.
do, now back, do. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been knitting for 2 hours and I've done literally 4 rows and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So while, yes.
That should be TV knitting for you now.
It is. And it was, but it's still, but you know what? I have to say, I liked the way yours was much more stark contrast with your blues and your yellows. Mine doesn't really have that
I know, I'm noticing
stark.
that right here.
Yeah, it just kind of is more the same.
But it's a cool pattern on the edge.
Yeah,
It really is neat.
it's kind of funky. So I'm just going to do, I think, to the next set of flowers because
Well,
it kind of
My
goes
yarns
like
were much more tonal.
here and here,
So,
and then this one's starting up here and here. So that may be the end of it. Is just go through one more of of these rows.
I
and then-
would because it's such a different looking pattern. You don't want that real wide.
No.
It's just so cool.
Yeah,
the way it looks.
It's coming out really. It's definitely more tapestry than this light flowy because of the yarn I chose to match the color of the contrast color. But I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool.
It is cool. I
So-
like that.
I like it.
Totally different. It looks totally different from mine.
Completely different.
And
Complete.
that is on my knitting list.
Yeah, it's a fun pattern. Once the challenging part is the only time I felt like I had to have to pay attention is when I'm starting a new bottom of the flower. Other than that, it's pretty intuitive with because it's mosaic stitch, and so you're just slipping and slipping.
When you start a new section, because you got to remember it's got to be offset. You
Right.
have to kind of pay
You have to
attention.
do 5 here, but then you have to do 3, and then you have to do 9, and then you have to do 3, and so it is paying attention. The first, every 8 to 12 rows or whatever, and then the rest of it was really pretty pretty straightforward. I wanted to work on it last night, but we had someone that had come in. They had taken a class with us, and once you take a class here, we are here for the duration of your project to make sure that you get it done. And if you have questions or if there's something that you're stuck on, so she called me up and was like, I can't get through this. I'm like, well, come in. That's why we're here. And so there was a struggle last night. So here is the beginning of silence. And so she taught this, and now we're in this kind of, I guess, honeycomb, are we calling this? Or what are we calling this kind of pattern here?
I don't know.
It's lace over.
Section 2.
Section 2, we're in section 2. And so here it's all lace over. And so she had pulled it apart so many times, the pieces of the dark yarn down here had really frayed. So I think she picked up.
We got you now, Lynn.
Yep, we got you. So we're all, and now she's like, I just wanted it in front of TV. I'm like, I got you. We all feel that way. So I think we've got this piece back on track for her. And so, Liz, what are you working on? Liz yesterday was working on socks. She just finished I call it the chicken and the egg sock. But
I have the sock with me.
I have Judy's, so I can show. She just finished this project, which I just love. We were talking about it forever.
One sock.
Charming colorwork socks. So we call this the chicken and the egg sock. I think it's called something like Easter.
Easter.
Yeah. So.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, because it's totally which came first, the chicken or the egg, and we know
I'm charge
it's the
as
chicken.
much as eggs are right now. So this sock is $15 just for one. If you want the other one,
Well, you can take a small business loan, or you can shop pay. So that was that. But then
you're losing your ball of yarn there.
I've lost more than that, my friend.
No, we'll start small today.
Okay. So now what are you working?
I'm working on an earth cowl.
A what cow?
Earth?
Earth?
Oh, Earth. I thought you said
Oh, Earth. I'm thinking like planet Earth. I'm like, okay. It's good for the
very
environment,
simple.
Cowl.
Oh, the yarn is Earth.
Okay. URTH.
What's the
Yeah,
cashmere
Earth.
cowl?
Earth.
this is-
The name of the yarn is Earth.
Oh.
URTH. I don't
Well,
know.
I'm not using earth yarn.
I know you're not.
I as you know, I'm from Rhode
I would
Island,
have known.
and there is an indie dyer. She's out of Boston, and the name of her yarn is, or her company, Dirty Water Dye Works.
Oh, I love that dirty water.
Yeah, and she's always at the any fiber festival in New England, and she has the pattern, and she has the yarn that goes with it, and it's really great because I don't have to think too much about colors and what kind of yarn I want to use. So whenever I see her, I buy a kit from her.
So you buy a lot of kits.
I do.
Do you buy a lot of kits?
I don't, because I don't know why I don't. I just like to come up with my own stuff.
I do too. It's very, very rare that I see it and go, oh my God, those are the colors I want in it. Why would I bother?
Sometimes I'll see something on Ravelry and then I go, oh, yes! And then I'll find those colors in a yarn that I feel like working with. But
I'll
for
go,
the most
man, I'd buy that kit and go see how much it is.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'll
well,
put it in
sometimes
yarn.
the kits are a little bit crazy with their pricing. I mean, there's been
Yeah.
some that I'm like, I love that. And, things are different now because with owning a yarn shop, I can get, I get my cost. So to buy somebody else's kit is absolutely
Well,
silly.
and that's
but
why you use that thing on Ravelry.
Right.
When you go in and you see you're looking at a page, and look across the top because it says details. That's the title page that tells you how much yarn you need and everything else. Then you can go into the projects and look at them, But there's also one that says yarns. And if you're filling out your project page and you write out what yarns you're using, it comes up. So you can see what all different yarns were used. So
Right.
sometimes I'm looking at a yarn and I'm going, oh my God, yes. And then I see how it knits up in it and I'm like, oh my God, no.
Right. Well,
know?
that is you did that for us when we were looking at was it Flaming June that you were doing the research for us?
Yeah, and somebody used a variegated and it looked awful.
Yeah. So we were like, well, we don't want to do that.
Solids.
And in fact, that's how we ended up coming up with Zoe, was because you saw a couple different projects and
Like the Zoe. Yep, because it'll say, like Zoe used 5 times. And so you hit that, and then all the projects that came up that used it and took the time to put it on their project page, it shows how it's done.
yeah. So in that case, and then, you know,
This is how I found my doppelganger today.
well, that's how we do that. But so you can rob, I mean, why recreate the wheel if there's something in there that looks really gorgeous?
Well, you're not wasting money then, because then you go, I don't like the way that looks.
Right.
You know, and some people did it with stripes, and then they used a variegated within the stripes, and it looks like, no, that's not what I want. You know, so it's important to use that, because then you can look at that and you think, oh, I love that yarn, but not the way that's made up.
Well, here's the thing is I don't have the artist eyeball that you and my daughter have. So sometimes combinations don't come right to me as far as that. Like, so we had someone in here who was doing color work the other day, and she's like, what goes with this? And I was like, I don't, other than the solids, I can come up with a nice solid. But so you guys were able to put together, was it one solid and two patterns?
The lady last Friday.
Yeah, she's got this beautiful pattern and gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. But I was like, you know, you guys pulled a couple variegated pieces together, and then I could see it. But I don't see it. So in that instance, I would need somebody to. Yes, so it's a new friend that comes and plays with us. But it's I mean, gorgeous, and I can see it once you guys all said, "Oh, try this." But I don't have that eye. So in that case, I need you guys.
Too much, and it was not going to. To me, it
wouldn't pop.
No, it wouldn't pop.
It wouldn't pop. But I mean, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous when it's done. But yeah, I need you to go. Nope. Or yes, do this.
Don't go. You don't want to go like down one color of the color wheel. You know, you've got this color. Then look at the triad, which goes this way. Complementary is across. I should bring in the color wheel one day.
You know, I was going to say we should have a color wheel in here.
Yeah.
I'll have to order one.
Oh, don't order them. Go to Michael's. They have them for like $1.99.
Okay, I will go to Michael's.
Or Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby.
I'll pick one. I have a stack of them. I'll bring one in. Because I use it in dyeing, but I teach a color theory class, so I have one that everybody has that they can play with. And it was really funny because I have done that and I have taught color theory. And so when I took the dyeing class in Oxford a couple of weeks ago, she was talking about, she was trying to get them to use the ones, it's a really cool color wheel because on one side is your regular type color wheel and on the other side it has it and you turn it and you can see what the triads are and stuff. So she had only used the one side.
Yeah.
And I've taught it on both sides. So the way we had to do it was we had to mix colors and then we mixed more and we were making a color wheel and then we were dyeing silk. I need to bring those in.
Yeah.
To show you. So anyways, she was trying to explain to someone and I flipped it over and I went, see how it goes this way and you can see the triangles and then you know immediately those are your triads. She goes, I've never used that side. So, you know, I taught her something.
See, you teach the teacher. Every day we're learning.
Yeah. She said, thank you. And I said, take $5 off my. She said, no.
Yeah. So it's, you know, the artist's eye. That's anyway. So Ravelry is really such a tool. It's also a giant time suck. So once you get down that rabbit hole, what are you hooked on right now? No, not scarves. What are you right now? You're big into saving. Sweaters. Yeah, because Judy goes on these, like, now we're going to save all 7,000 of these, and Judy's going to knit into 17 lifetimes.
That's because I'm looking for something, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe later, let me look at that later. So I throw it in my queue, and I never take it out of my queue. So, like, I'm up to page 80 on my queue.
So
doesn't mean I'm going to do them. I just like to look at them.
Well, they're always fun for projects. So
it's much easier that way than you going, what was the name of that pattern? Where was it? And I'm just going to do my queue.
Yeah, I just asked Judy because I don't remember a damn thing. I forgot what she just said. So I'm always looking for patterns. So Judy teaches my challenging classes. We have by far the most color work classes here in the area and so many different things.
We're now in South Carolina.
I'm going for it. Yeah, and in the surrounding areas.
Tri-state area.
Definitely in the low country. We have by far the most color work classes, and Judy is, I mean, amazing at it.
I love color work.
She loves it.
Keeps me from being bored.
Yeah, well, right now you're kind of bored because you're just doing straight
that's why
knitting.
I picked it up for a week.
So she's like, I'm in the boring part.
I am. I'm in the boring part on this. I'm in the boring part of sorry. And it's like, I want to start another. I can't.
Okay, and that's why I'm like, I just got to get through this silly pressed flowers. I mean, I love it, but I'm kind of over it now. Like I just want to be done with it now, and I feel guilty feeling that way because I do love it and it's a fun project, but I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do something else. So I'm always looking for things to teach here, and especially with people that need a little extra help. Generally with the super like high-end classes, people already know for the most part what they're doing, and that a lot of times it's just a community building. Like I love our sock community, like the women that come for the Happily Knitting Socks Club.
They're so much fun.
They're so great and they're so much fun. And but with our newer knitters or our less confident knitters, I'm trying to come up with projects. So we just got the new Berroco catalog for the spring, okay? And, spring and summer colors just came out. So there is a bunch of new stuff that they sent to us. So I'll just kind of give you a quick, this is Lang. This is called Paradise. It's got kind of this shiny that goes through it. It's not, it's not super easy to see. There's some new cotton through Berroco. Splash, this is the summer version of Dash. So it is much more lightweight, whereas Dash, let's grab one, is a big, thick, chunky yarn, which is so fun to play with. And it knits up really quickly. This is the summer lighter.
That should be called Sprint.
It should be called Sprint. The lighter version of this. Lumi just came out. This one's got a little bit of sheen, a little bit of sparkle to it. This one, Judy said that would be good for t-shirts, so we may get some of this. It's called Gaia.
Oh, I think so. Summer t-shirts, I think that would knit up really cute.
Yeah, it's cute. It's nice and light. It's got some polyester in it. It's got some cotton, so it won't stretch. The polyester will help with that. This one is soft. It's the vintage sock, but I do have a pretty big collection of sock yarns as it is, so I'm not going to add this one quite yet. Here are a couple other variegated ones. We've got Footprints and Tropical. This one's nice and soft from Lang. It's called Amira Light. It's very fluffy. And so that's what and this one we like. I think I am going to be adding this one, this Vintage Baby hand paints. So it's just got a little bit of sprinkle of color throughout the skein, more like a pooling. What do you think? Pooling, the way this kind of looks? Or spattering of it.
Yeah, speckled.
A little
more
speckly. So they sent this. So this is kind of what their new taste pack is, and so they have a lot of things. So I was looking at this. This is what the summer weight of the Dash. This one is Splash. What they're kind of.
Now let me
working up
preface before we get into this argument.
Okay, we're not going to argue. We just simply
this discussion.
Okay.
You just throw it at me in an email.
Of course I
didn't
do.
know that you got the book.
Okay.
I thought.
I just throw it at her in
What
an
do you
email.
think? Should we do this? And I'm like, meh. I was like,
Listen, if you don't really want to know what Judy's thinking, don't ask her, because she will tell you exactly what she's thinking, and there is.
and you love me for it.
I do love her for it,
I'm
because
not
I wouldn't.
pretentious.
I
at
wouldn't
all.
ask you if I didn't honestly want to know. But if if your feelings are going to be hurt, don't ask Judy, because she'll be like, no, I think that looks like crap.
I think you can do. I don't say it like crap. I say I think you could do better.
No, actually, I showed you something that I was trying to fix for somebody, and it looked like crap. And I'm like, does this look okay? She goes, no, it doesn't. It doesn't look good at all. I'm like, okay, well,
but then I told you what to
agreed.
use,
I
and then
agree.
you did it.
And it still looked terrible. But
Yeah, but
it wasn't our fault.
wasn't
That was
as terrible.
It was a hole that
It wasn't
this
as
poor
terrible.
guy had a hole. He brought it in. He goes, I need a weaver. I'm like, a weaver? And he had a hole in his sweater, and I'm like, it's a machine made tiny knit. I'm like, not much I can do. Anyway, as we tangent off. So I got this book and I was looking through it, and I'm always looking, because I teach the beginner classes. So I'm always looking for something that's a little bit like a 102 as opposed to just knitting and purling, so people can continue to gain some skills. So I was like, well, we do washcloths in the first class, and they're fine. They're good, especially if you want to try out new stitches, because it's not a giant commitment. And
I think they're great.
But
It's
you know
what? Some
they're
people
great
like
to learn
me,
on.
they go, you start with a washcloth. I don't want a washcloth. Give
Right.
me something to sink my teeth
something
into.
more
And
substantive.
that's me. That's not everybody. Now, Arlene,
Right.
I'll do a washcloth.
Yeah, no, it's
Because
that's-
Arlene, you need to build your confidence. We've talked about this before. But I understood that. Arlene would be like, now let me try a washcloth and see if I like it. Me, it was like, give me something.
Yeah, but you're insane. You're just like,
I am
I
insane.
don't know. I don't think this pattern's only in Swahili, and none of the yarn is anything that exists anywhere but Mars, and it's missing 3 pages. Okay, so yeah, I got this. I don't
I
know.
like these 3 pages, only 1.5.
I don't even need this. I wasn't going to follow half of it anyway. So But so anyway, this came in and I was looking through and I'm like, oh, maybe this would be kind of a fun summer project. So I was thinking something that would be easy, but not a giant, overwhelming commitment, not a difficult pattern read. So, because sometimes sweaters and things that require charts are overwhelming for people.
They are.
And so I'm trying
It
to.
took me 8 or 9 years before I would handle a chart.
And charts can be really
I
daunting.
would write them out.
So really daunting with all the squiggles and the marks, and this means this, and this is leaning this way. Oh, so this came across yesterday in the book, and this is called the Coastal Home Pattern, and I was like, well, those are cute. Those are just little cute
Yeah, but see the name of
placemats.
I know.
Okay.
So you send me an email
here's
and you
this.
go, what do you think about these? And I'm looking at the name Ina, and I'm like, Ina Garten's knitting now? I thought she was a cook. I thought she was a chef on the Food Network.
That's why she's
I'm
making
so
placemats.
confused. Are you at Walmart and you just took a picture of that? Because don't they carry her stuff? Who's the Prairie Woman? Is that Ina?
That's
Sorry.
Drummond. Ree Drummond,
Yeah,
I think.
Ina's
But
the Italian lady.
she's the barefoot Contessa.
Oh!
She's the barefoot
Well,
Contessa.
no, she wouldn't be knitting. Maybe.
She might be.
Barefoot,
But
yeah, in
so I was
Sicily.
like, this is, yes, right. So I thought, okay, well, this will be a kind of a fun, we could use it with some of the linen blends or something like that. I'm even, God forbid, I'm cringing even saying this, I may add a little bit of
four-letter
hemp. But people like the hemp. I just not, it's too, yeah. But I have texture challenges because I'm a weirdo.
All right, go ahead. Let's just
Anyway, so I send this to her because I had said to my rep, Karen, I say, hey, do we have a pattern for this? Because maybe I'll teach it as a class. And so I just sent them. And I've got 7 billion things going on, and I forget Judy doesn't live in my brain sometimes, which is, it's rude.
It's weird because I think our brains are very similar.
So sometimes she's just not in there. And I'm like, Judy, So I said, what do you think of this? And I didn't preface it. I didn't say for this.
Would this be a good class?
Would this be a good class? And she's like, no.
I said meh. I didn't say no. I said meh, which is the same thing as no.
It's pretty much no. Ew. That was meh is even more like ew.
Well, it's like no. Meh is like yeah, it's okay for somebody, but not for me.
Right.
Meh.
Right.
Yeah. Well, see, I pictured you spending all that time and all that money on it, and you laying them out, and your husband spilling. My husband spilling spaghetti sauce on it. And it's like,
Yeah.
You know, I think something like that would look great, like on your patio, on the table on your patio.
Yeah.
You know, in the summer.
That's what I was thinking. A nice
Yeah.
summer
but you gotta
collection
make more
to
than
be.
one of them in order for it to be an impact.
but
You're right, but it's not.
then-
Or you could just keep going and make it a runner. I mean, there's.
yeah, you could make like 4 different colors.
Right.
and-
To have them all tie in together.
See, when I was a weaver, though, you'd make 4 of those in a day because you go like this and then cut them apart and put the binding around them.
Okay.
So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, time. For me, I'd have one done and go, I gotta make 3 more. You know, it's like second sock syndrome. Some people can never get around to making the second sock.
Yeah.
But there is somebody who doesn't want to knit sweaters and, you know, and doesn't want to look at socks and go, this is right up my alley. I'm going to make them all. They'll be the one. Hello, Kim. It'll be Kim who'll go, I'm going to make 1,800 of these for Christmas this year.
Well, here's the thing, too.
And 3 days before Christmas, call us and say, I still have 27 to go.
Well, here's the thing. I'm having challenges with my camera today. That's why we're all crooked, and I'm sorry I keep moving it, but that's IT challenges. But here's the thing. I have so many people that come in here and go, I want a project, but it's freaking hotter than Hades here.
Well, then that would be perfect.
So I'm trying to say, okay, well, let's try something maybe for the home, and they're not big. It's not going to sit on your lap like when
not
you're
a
working on a
washcloth.
blanket. It's a little bigger
Well,
than a washcloth.
Yeah, it's just not me, but it would be for a beginner. And I told you that.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
I
me.
know.
Well, let's see, look, when you do all 4, how
Oh,
cute
they're
is
just
that?
lovely. You could do them in all summer colors or beachy colors or...
But see, I'm thinking the beginner, and you're going, you know what? This would be good in those up there because you wouldn't have to buy a lot of yarn.
Right, so the Vivo from
Vivo,
Isola.
like what
I mean, from Isola, from
Nancy
Berroco.
did with the
Shop bags.
the market bags.
Yeah.
And it would show color work without doing a lot of colors.
Right.
And you're not telling them, hello, because you know what? It's not a cheap hobby.
Oh, God, no.
No hobby is cheap.
No.
And you wanted it to look nice, so in order to do that, you buy the right equipment. So if somebody says, well, I really want to make this. Okay, you need 4 colors. Oh, no, 5. 5 colors, and then you're going to need the needles, and somebody's going to go, oh, I just walked out spending $87.95 for 4 placements. You know?
Yes, but then you've got people
But
like I keep
these-
going back to Arlene who spends
perfect.
money and then she gives everything away. So
these would make cute. This colorway I would love in placemats.
Yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
go to make them in this.
Okay.
And then you can give them to me.
and give to you. There you go. So so you have something like this, okay? So it's a nice springy color, or you've got this, which I feel like is summery and bright and fun,
Calypso.
or this is beachy to me. And a lot of people, of course, because now we're down in right outside of Hilton Head, South Carolina, in Bluffton, and this is what people do. They have these whole beach coastal themed homes, and this you can wash in the machine.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you
Then
can
it'd
wash
be
and
perfect.
dry it.
So what kind of yarn did this
Well,
use?
this one has
This
Pima.
is Pima. So
Yep.
that's not a heavy yarn.
So it's not Pima's not heavy. It's Pima 100. So and I have the Pima Soft here, and Pima Soft is reasonably priced. So if you wanted to choose, and I'm just going to grab this because it's the first one I grabbed. So here you've got these, and you only need a couple of it. I don't know how many
Oops, sorry.
So here, and these
Size
are,
7 needles.
and this is hand wash in cold water. So again, if you're committing to something like this, then you've got to be ready to hand wash your placemats. But I mean,
So this is size 6, and it said take size 7, the Pima cotton. So it would work.
so I mean
Yeah.
they're close enough. I
And
mean,
if it's too
And size 7, it'll knit up
yeah.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And if it's not, so the thing of it is though, it's a slip stitch pattern.
yeah. So
So,
not a difficult, but
Not a beginner.
no, but you could definitely,
The
but you could even alter
intermediate
it. To,
beginner.
yeah, I mean, you could even alter it to just say, hey, let's try seed stitch or moss stitch, in these cases, and just
I
make
do like
it.
that blanket.
Yes, so that's the other thing I thought, because people are saying, there's been people saying, I want a blanket class, I want a blanket class. Now, I had tried early on to do Nora's vintage blanket, and it's all cables, and it's really beautiful. I don't
You're
know.
gonna get it done. It's gonna be gorgeous.
It's going to be great. But you know what? I had a bunch of people sign up at first for each month we were going to do a square from this blanket. And then now it's just down to Kathy and me doing the
Some
blanket.
people are probably still on their second square.
But I've had
It's
people
a
say, I want
commitment.
it's a huge commitment. Blankets are a big
Yeah.
commitment.
So
So I
you need
thought,
something like football season to
Yes.
work on it while you're
that's
watching
right.
football
Or if
games.
we're up north, it was just all the winter because it's just so darn cold. But so this one came out in this book too, and I thought this one was really pretty. And then I thought I would
I do
peer
like
pressure
that one.
Nancy
That
into
one looks like
crocheting
it's
this one.
woven. Is that crochet?
Yeah, this top one's crochet.
This one?
No, this one is
but
this
this
one's
bottom
knit.
one I love.
Yeah, so I thought that would be kind of neat to maybe throw that out as a class. So Judy, just start whipping that out.
I'm sorry. I look at it. She asked me what I thought. Don't ask me. I think if we use this, I wouldn't go buy all the yarn with the hemp in it. I would use that.
Are you talking now placemats?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. If we do something this and part of, we could even make it part of our Bluffton series because of the colors
But
that
you
you've
said,
got.
what do you think of this in hemp? And I'm like, I thought you didn't like hemp.
Well, I can't stand hemp, but people
But I was,
people like
I was
it.
doing 5 million things at once. I was
No, I
eating
mean,
my lunch,
I just think you're funny.
trying to put my shoes on for bocce.
I just think you're funny.
And,
So
we kicked ass in bocce yesterday.
Good,
But
yeah.
I was like, what's she doing? It's
yeah,
not a
no,
sweater.
I know. Well, I mean, again, that's why mostly too your responses make me laugh. So that's why
I know.
that's why
true.
I go there. So
I pictured the wine.
yeah, so
Because I made a beautiful table runner one time. I sewed it. And Liz doesn't know this. You guys came over for Easter. It's before you moved. And Drew set his wine glass down on it. And that spot is still there. I was like,
And you
get
didn't,
off! But I didn't yell at him.
well, you should have.
I will from now
Because let
on.
me tell you, if you were at my house and you did that,
He left a
probably
wine
would have thrown
spot.
you out.
He left a wine spot on my. It's still there.
oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
It's okay. It's something to remember him by.
That's right. Here's a little
Yeah.
little spotty memory of Drew.
I'll get it out while he's here next week and just lay it out.
Be like,
see anything you like, Drew?
This
Look
works
at that.
on. What does this look like to you, Drew? So
Well,
anyway,
we always have a big crowd over for Easter. We usually have like 10 to 12.
well, I want your charcuterie chocolate candy. What the hell is it? What, you have
Easter.
the Easter charcuterie, but it's all candy. Oh my
Oh yeah, that looked fantastic.
Oh my
It
God.
was so much better than trying to make a carrot
Oh my God. And I know
was
people,
fun.
I'm not a carrot cake fan myself. I
Not
do
either.
understand people like it. It's not
I
for
love
me.
it.
Oh, see, it's not for me.
I have
but
one recipe that is really good in it, and I think my husband threw it
I
out.
do really love the cream cheese frosting that goes with a carrot cake.
Well, there used to be, and I never bought the pan, and I probably should have. There used to be this store down in Savannah. It was so cool. It was on Barnard Street, and it was a kitchen store. But the back half of the store was a kitchen with a cooking kitchen
Ooh.
and a table around it, and to seat 8. And they would have demonstrations, and you could find they would have Groupon prices, so you could get lunch for like $25. So you went and you sat at this table. We always had a big group that went, a group of friends, and they would cook it for you and tell you about it at the same time.
Fun.
You'd get the recipe, and they'd show you the products they used in the store, and then you ate the lunch.
Oh,
and it
that's
was
fun.
so good. It was so much fun. And they did one that they made for dessert, carrot cake Twinkies, and they had the pan to make the Twinkies, and they put the cream cheese in the center, and it was so good because it was eating like a cupcake with the. It was
I
cute.
still don't think I would. I mean,
But that was the
in
only.
the moment, yes, I'd
that was
eat
the
it.
only
But
carrot cake recipe I've ever really liked. It was really good. I've made it
Yeah.
with cupcakes and stuff, but I think it's disappeared because I think my husband did something with it. Maybe not.
accidentally.
Maybe because it had a really good paella recipe with it too.
So here is another yarn that my broker sent to me. It's from Lang. It's called Celeste. I don't know that you'd be able to see. It's got kind of fun sparkles in
We're on
it.
the fence with this.
So
We're
we
kinda
are. We're kind of on the fence with this because what I've learned that with my tastes always lean towards fabulously soft and squishy and luxurious and blue and green, and that's I have to ask other opinions because clearly that's not what everybody buys.
She just looks like she's underwater. All
I
the
just
time.
always love to be at the beach, so I have it here in my shop. So I think this is kind of fun. I think this could make a decorative like scarf or cowl or something kind of very light and kind of ethereal. It's airy. I thought Judy's actually got this. I don't want to call it a top. What do you even call this thing? She's got a wedding that she's
It's gonna
going
be
to.
a tunic.
It's a tunic, so she's going
But
to
that
wear it
doesn't
over
show
a
it as a
dress.
tunic.
But it's going to be very light and airy and wispy with mohair and very, kind of. Are you using bigger needles on it?
Excuse me. You start with size 4.
So here
But I'm
is
thinking I
this
may have to go up to
tunic.
5.
It's
I just
kind of hard to
started to
see with
swatch.
this light ring. So, but here it is. It's very open and kind of, it's got the chevron looking bottom. So I thought,
Look at it
something
over
in
a
that
dress.
would
Over
be.
a dress, it's just gorgeous.
So here's what she's got for this wedding. She's got a black tie wedding coming up, so she's going to make this for it. And I thought that would be absolutely
I know.
perfect for it.
I'm like, that's really good. But I don't think it would look good in the chevron. And you've got to.
No, you'd have to pull something else.
Yeah, so that's
Color-wise.
why I'm not- So I'm just going to go with the way they say to do it. I've got it cast on for the swatch, and that's all the further I've gotten because you have to do the chevron to get the gauge.
So,
And I haven't played with
Liz,
it
here,
so
play with it. So what do you think of this?
She's going to have you knit something, Liz.
No, I'm not going to do this.
I love the colors, but I'm not a glittery person.
Do you think the glittery is so overpowering that...
I don't think so. I think it's subtle.
No, I don't think it's real.
See, I think, too, if you did something on the bottom, right? So if you pulled a mohair in, because you wouldn't want to pull something heavy in,
No,
right?
no,
You wouldn't want
something
to...
very light.
So I was thinking if you pulled a mohair, and I don't know, I'm just kind of pulled a couple with it on the bottom. Even if you wanted to go with a much darker pop and kind of pull out those colors, I mean, I think that might be...
Oh, look at those two together.
See, I think that's too much sparkle.
Well, I wouldn't use this, but I'm looking at that color.
Oh, yeah, the color's pretty. So
I would
this
use
is
the dark mauve.
one of
dusty
the
mauve.
one of the samples here came in. So if you were going to do that, I wouldn't go this subtle. I think you'd need more of a pop of something. Maybe the gray.
No,
No,
I dulls it.
yeah, I kind of like this one.
It's all right.
Yeah,
With it.
it's pretty.
Yeah,
I'd have to knit this and see what it's like.
yeah. I don't know. Have you played with it? Let us know because this is something that as I continue to grow and hopefully expand my shop next door, which is
Oh, so what country is cotton? The language is Bawina. That means cotton.
Israel.
I don't know. And you got Bamuli.
I don't know. I'm a language person, but
Algado.
algodón is Spanish for cotton, so it might be
Okay,
Italian or algodón is Spanish.
Yeah, we're learning languages today.
So, so anyway, if you've played with it, let me know. Let me know if this is something that you're like, oh my god, yes, it's so much fun. Or, ugh. But
Don't do me. Meh.
nah, that's Judy. We just nah. So, yeah, that's one. And here's another one that I just got a sample of. I asked
that
for it,
was
and it is lovely.
That's the one you want to squish all day
So
long.
this one is definitely a Tracy squishable, lovable object. This is Harriet the Great, as I like to call it, but it is Harriet Great. It is from Juniper Moon Farm, and it is all baby alpaca, and it is so soft and so squishy, and it knits up very quickly because it is. What are we using? 9s on these? Let's say here.
Chunky weight.
8 to 10, so it's chunky. It's a bulky weight.
I wouldn't use an 8.
I would probably
use
go
a 9 or
You
10.
would?
Yeah.
Really? You'd go that big? You wouldn't
Yeah.
think it would be too loose?
Yeah. I saw a sign one time that said, "Marry the man that makes you feel like you do when you walk into a yarn store." And my husband, Gordon, says, "What's that like?" And so I said, "It means I'll rub you against my neck, squeeze you, and throw you on the counter to buy you." Okay.
Now, do we dare ask, do you feel that way about Gordon?
I think Claudia does. I'm not saying that very loud.
Go
I'm
back.
not saying that very loud.
Check
Check episode 9.
Go back a couple of episodes to see
To
what
the
we're talking
Christmas
about
one.
with Claudia.
No, I think that an 8 would be really tight. I would go 9.
I would think, because I love. I mean, I love me. 7 and 10s are my
but for
are
down
my
here, that would
go-to.
be a really thick. It's
Yeah.
like, I've been doing sweaters, but I go up a size to
Right.
make them
A
kind
little
of
more loose.
looser. Not
Yeah.
looser, but not as
Airy?
tight. Yeah, an
Airier.
airier fabric than a really tight fabric.
Yeah, but that one is so soft.
It
and
is. It is. I really
squishy.
like this.
Yeah, so
I
we're going to try to pull some colors in. We were talking about it yesterday. I'm trying to see what I have. Maybe like there was one that was called Oyster, which is, this kind of...
Perfect for down here.
Perfect for down here. So it's like a white and got some tan in it. Gray, because I don't have anything really in gray. That's a thick. But, and again, with these, I can order just about anything. So
She can order it for you.
I can order it for you. So if there's colors you're looking for, especially if it's a line that I already currently carry, I can order it for you and get it here within a short period of time. However, I want to talk to you about what's going on right now. So I have someone that's trying to order more of, where is this? What is going on? What is going on? So I talked to my broker, and right now there is so much going on in Peru with political strife and fighting and awfulness that everything is stopped or stalled for shipments. So when normally I would get my stuff in within, a week, maybe 2 if there's some, back order or whatever, it's been weeks. So
Yeah, there's a crocheter who lives, and she teaches crocheting and everything. I think she's head of the site A Good Yarn, and her name's Abby Fairmont or something like that, Farkmont or something like that in the end. And she's in Peru right now, and she's been talking. I'm on her Facebook page, and she's been talking some about what's going on over there. And but she's up in the mountains working with a lot of the
Indigenous
people and trying to help them and everything and get them started, dyeing yarn and stuff and making things to create a living.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, remember the lady that was there was a lady from our sewing club that one year when I was president came in and talked about they do a thing every year where they go, I don't know whether it's Peru, it may be that they go up into the mountains and they take as many sewing machines as they can and they give them to these people so they can make things to sell.
Sure.
And if that was the meeting, we raised enough to buy 2 sewing machines for.
Oh, that's
we
wonderful.
just passed the hat really quick, which I later found out was illegal to do, but I didn't know that.
Oh, there you are.
I know.
Lawbreaker.
So, so she's like kind of like that, and she does it with fiber and all the yarn. So, she's been writing she's been talking some on Facebook about unrest.
It's hard. It's hard
I think
to
it's
be.
going to get uglier before it gets better.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, I having studied and taught about Latin America and that like that, especially right now, I'm working with a student who's preparing for the AP Spanish exam coming up in May. these are things that you have to talk about because,
Well, people have been oppressed for so long.
yeah.
And they don't want to be oppressed anymore.
Well,
When
no.
they can see. I read a really neat article, and it was when, it was from like back in 1980, 85, and they talked about there were a lot of factors, but the one biggest factor that brought down, like the wall in Germany, that brought down a lot of communism and knocked it out was the video camera.
Well, yeah, of course, 'cause you can
Because-
see the
That's
reality
right.
of it.
Because you watched it on TV, but there were so many underground stations
Right.
that people were watching it and they're going, that's not what really happens in America.
Right.
That's not what, maybe now it does, but that's not what really goes on, what they say is going on. And that did more to bring about the fall of communism
Change.
than anything, than change.
Well,
yeah.
and I have to say that with all of the unstrife that's going on, not only in Latin America, there's always, unstrife going
Yeah.
on, rife
Middle
conditions
East.
in middle, but also right now with the Ukraine, it's really for us that are dealing with fiber and selling fiber and getting fiber, it's really crazy because everything that's
Chickens. That's why eggs are so
That's
high
why
right
eggs are
now,
so
avian flu.
and so it's really hard, especially on us little shops, because then we have to help kind of pass those expenses through because when I was trying to order some hedgehog fibers, I mean the shipping costs more than the yarn, and I'm like, well, I can't completely then be upside down on the yarn, so some of it's just really, I mean, it's hard to be a little shop in these times. Well, it's always hard to be a little shop, but I mean these are weird times. So that's why if you're waiting for something that's been ordered or you're like, well, I haven't this kind well that there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's out of our control.
I think it's teaching us to be patient
I hope
and
it's
to make
working,
do
but
with what we got.
well, yeah. Good luck with that.
No, knitters will never be happy
No.
with what they've got.
You always need more. You always need more yarn. So because there's two hobbies. There's picking out yarn and then using yarn.
I
Right.
use it. I don't hold back. I did the same thing when I had a quilt shop and I bought fabric for quilts. Because here was my thinking. If I use, because people go, oh, I could never cut into that. Oh, it's so pretty. I could just never, I just like to feel it. Well, then you feel guilty every time you buy more.
Right.
If you use it, and I would, then I don't feel guilty about buying more.
Have you made any quilts since?
Quilts?
Yeah.
No.
I've never heard you talk about quilts. And you
I
own
haven't
a
made
quilting
a quilt
store.
since 2000, what?
Why?
2000.
Why'd you stop?
I just don't want to do it anymore.
You just burned yourself out of quilts, huh?
It wasn't that. I closed my shop because it was, my kids were in sports and I was missing too much.
Yeah.
And so, and 9/11 hit and it just changed everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a good 10 years. It was fun. I'm done. And I don't know. I picked up knitting. I picked up scrapbooking.
She came to
and
the
so
dark
it's like,
side.
I just didn't want to anymore.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I mean, I look at quilts now and I see patterns and I go into my friends' houses that quilt. And I'm like, oh, I want that pattern. And then it's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do it.
Are you a quilter, Liz?
No,
Me either.
no, never tried
I did
it.
the same thing. I quilted. I taught color theory. I taught at festivals. I taught at conventions. And then I was like, okay, I'm done.
She was the bearded lady at the circus.
I was the fat lady.
Stop. Stop. So anyway, we've got a couple classes coming up. I'm excited about this one because the yarn is so gorgeous. It's on the Spice Market. So we've got that coming up. So if you're looking for something locally, we can also Zoom with you. So if this is something that you're interested in, that's something that you can sign up for. Also, we are, and I say we, but it's Judy. We are doing this. It is called the seaweed scarf. So here's a picture of the pattern. Judy's got it made up in some beautiful variegated colors. And so we've got some.
I'm going to do it in a solid tonal, though.
I know. So you've got this kind of, is it mossy color?
Kind of a green sea
Here
green.
is the seaweed scarf. So it's got this real fun, but they're shorter rows. So it's not like you're committing to this giant, project in that it's going to take 6 years to finish. So that we've got coming up. Like I said, we have pressed flowers. We have some beginning. So did I tell you Lena's teaching a class here? My daughter's teaching a
Yes.
class. So she's going to do a kids camp, and she's making these little crocheted octopi. So that's almost full. So I was like, "Go, girl!"
Good.
Yeah,
Good for her.
yeah. and I have a beginner kids knitting class coming up, and kind of some other stuff. And we're looking at got a few yarns we're playing with to see if we can add them to the shop. But some of these places, I mean, it's a lot of commitment. So when I was looking at, I looked at Spun Right Round to see, they've got some really fun things. Freya,
I think you should get some Freya in.
the problem again is
Fun, right? Well,
big
Fun
commitment.
round.
So Freya is a big commitment too. I mean, they want for you to spend quite a bit of money, and until I know it's tried and true, it's a little daunting to be spending that much
time. And I was going to steek today.
Oh gosh, that's right. Are you going to steek now? Let's do that.
All right, so here's my thing.
Forgot.
I've been reading on it.
Okay.
So I'm going to do some crocheting one next time. But this is just doing a running stitch.
All right, I'm going to bring this over.
I'm going to cut it right here on the air.
Oh my gosh.
So if you notice, I did this one side. Here's where my steek is going to go. It's going to cut right here. Okay? Here's I did a purl, a knit, and a purl because it's such a little project. If I'm on my sweater that I'm doing, I'm actually doing, you can see that I have 4 rows of purls. This is where it'll be cut and it's go up. And I may try the crochet. I've been reading Kate Davies. That's how I found my doppelganger today. So anyways, I've done a running stitch right up there. I'm using contrast color so you can see it. Probably I would use, I don't know what I did there, but that doesn't look right. That's okay. I would use colors that would match, okay? So this running stitch, and you can do it on the machine, I'm doing a back stitch. I go behind this stitch, up and into the next stitch. Pull it through. Now I go down in the stitch behind it and up in the next stitch. Okay, and I'm just going to do that. Give me a couple seconds here. Down through the next stitch and up. Down in the stitch behind, up in the stitch in front, and then you go down in the stitch behind, up in the stitch in front. Is that right, Ralphie? He's telling me. Down in the stitch behind, up in the stitch in front. And I'm going to do it a couple more times. Here and here. And one more. Okay. Now, that's secured. Look at it behind. Okay? That's the wrong side. Those stitches aren't going to go anywhere. So what happens is I'm going to cut here right up the middle, and then I will pick up the stitches behind that running stitch so that it will fold under like this. You ready?
Okay.
Deep breath. You want a paper bag?
I might.
If this very complicated.
No. It's not going to go anywhere.
Oh God, she's doing it. Oh my God.
It's not going anywhere.
There you go.
And now I will pick up those stitches right there. And I will probably do that like in the next hour so that none of it will unravel. But now I'm just going to pick up those stitches and start my band.
And there it was. Steekified.
Did you hear any screaming? Except from
me?
Except from Tracy. The yarn did not scream in pain. So I'm going to do another one later that will be crocheted around since I want to teach this next year at Oxford. Hi, Oxford, Stacy. And I'll start on that band.
All right.
There
Take
it
the
is.
eek out of steek.
Yep.
I like it. All right, Judy. Woohoo!
So I said I'd pick up the bands. I didn't bring any needles to do that. So we're going to put this away very carefully so nothing unravels. And actually, it's not going to unravel because it's only going to go as far as where that stitching is. It can't go any further. It can't. It can't go any further. You've stitched there. It's not going to go anywhere. Right. Unless you're like, okay, I'll show you. I'm going to pull it out. But no, there it is.
What do you spite de-steek?
Spite steeking. Vengeful steeking.
That's right. I will show you. All right. So, well,
There you
we'll
go.
have to now see.
And
I didn't
it's not
cry.
going anywhere.
That didn't cry. Nobody cried.
No, I forgot I didn't bring any needles. Maybe I do. I'll see what I got in my...
That's right.
in my stash.
All right. Well, now we're going to have a new little cozy for our
Mug cozy.
mugs. So,
So if I teach this class, you would come away with a mug.
wow. And it would be so cozy. So, all right. So that's
Keep that iced coffee.
I had to warm up that iced coffee for you. So that is something that we're going to have a class here on Take the Eek Out of Steek, taught by Judy, clearly not me. But, so
Yeah, no.
so there's some, you know,
I have
there's
to buy a needle.
there's some,
Because, I don't have enough.
yes. Well, you haven't bought a needle in what, 2-3 days?
Yeah.
Clearly, it's time. It's time. So yeah, that's something that a lot of people are scared to death of, myself included. But obviously it works, and it's not as horrifying as as it could be.
It wasn't. See? It was so nice.
Hey, how is it? You've been designing our stocking for.
I'm to the heel. I'm to the heel.
How is the design coming? Have you had any more death threats from?
I got an email that said your 1 month trial subscription is about up, and I was like, thank God, because I haven't been back on it. Those people are mean.
If you missed that episode, she asked a question like, "Hey, is there a user manual that will kind of help, work me through some of my questions?" And the woman that ran the site went nuts on her. I mean, absolutely
Why? Look at this face.
Off.
Why would you be mean to this face?
off the chain.
Unless I said your pattern
Nuts.
I asked if there was a user manual or something I could download to read through, and yet I thought I had asked for gold.
Or thought you just went off on what a bad thing it was.
Yeah,
No,
so the moderator went, yeah, not the best question to start off with.
What
What do you want me to start off with?
Does anyone know the weather in Tuscaloosa? I mean, it's like, wow. But that escalated to hideous out of nowhere. So that was.
I'm just like, screw you people now. I don't like you anymore.
So she changed sites clearly, and that one I can't wait to see it. So she's been working.
I've been working on Chartminder, which is very, very sweet shop.
So somebody asked this question yesterday, and there are classes you can take to become a master knitter, where by the end you're writing. What is the benefit of having that master knitting certification?
I don't know whether it's still on the course or not. Master knitting was that you're just certified, that you've proven you know how to do all that stuff. And I knew somebody who was taking that class, and it was a lot of stuff that you had to do and then prove that you could do it.
Yeah, I looked into it.
And it was a lot of little things, and somebody thought, I would say you're a master knitter. You are really good at fixing mistakes. Looking at somebody's pattern and figuring out what's wrong with it. A lot of times they come in and they go, "What'd I do wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know, and I don't care."
I'm like, give it to me, I'll figure it out.
I mean, I have to really look at a pattern and read it, and I have to figure out where you are in it before I realize, okay, this is the mistake you make, and you're not like that. What am I doing?
No.
I know what it is.
No, I can usually, because I got a weird brain that
You
sees
figure it
things
out
that are
right away.
off.
You're good at that. I'm not as good at it as you are.
So, and I'm pretty good at going, all right, what am I doing wrong? And then Judy goes, oh, just do it this way. And I'm like, okay. And then
we had that little eye opener last night.
Yeah. So as I was saying in the beginning of the pattern somehow it just got off kilter, and then it wasn't lining up the way, so when you've got these, the kind of I call it honeycomb. I don't know exactly what this pattern is exactly called here, but yeah, we were able to fix that. It was just a matter of.
And we had that discussion because when you do a yarn over, you were doing it as a make one when you came back through.
Yeah.
And I said, you're not making the loop, and you got to make it so that it's a little holy like an eyelet. So you got to go through the loose part, not the tight part.
Yeah. So mine was, I was making really tiny lace size ones, not quite as big as this one. So, but that was a quick fix.
And I said, well, there's two ways, and mine was right.
What else is new?
Clearly, mine was right. Clearly,
if only you listened to me from the
Clearly,
beginning.
mine was the correct one. I don't know what you were doing.
Okay, my friends. Well, that is our hour. Hopefully you have enjoyed yourself and perhaps learned a little or were a little horrified to watch Steeking, and we all survived. So that is the good thing.
I actually cut my finger with the scissors. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God, blood everywhere again. So hope you have a great week. And again, if you've tried any of these yarns and you love them or you loathe them, let me know, because again, this is a process. I'm still trying to figure out what works best, not only for, my shop, but also for people in this area. And I love any feedback that you can get. If there's any projects that you think this would be a great thing, maybe you think meh to my idea for the placemats. Maybe
you can email me at
yeah, you can tell Judy that, oh my God, you are so right. God, what was she thinking?
Start a Facebook page.
That's right. Tracy'sIdeasSuck.com. So
That'll be a group on Rattler.
Have a great week, and we will see you back here next Friday.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.